board membership of NGOs. Like I said earlier, don't pick anybody working with government as your board member. It will restrict you. It will limit you. Okay? What you can do, pick your board members, people that have good plans that can contribute towards the growth of the organization. Structure it very well. Okay? Because if you pick the wrong board members, some of them, at this point, I need to let us understand some things. Some people, when you pick them as board members, they will not want to contribute any financial assistance, anything financial. They may just be there. Some of them, I had experience of some will come and they will list things that should be done, but who and who to do it, or what can we use to do it, is none of their business. And at the end, what they're targeting is what comes out, and that's where you have issues when board members start fighting, board members start going to court. You need to avoid that, okay? Let the board members come up with policies and strategies of the organization. If they know what they're supposed to do, okay, if you want to select those board members, it will be good that they get to understand their functions. Number one, they should accept or work with your dream, or come up with ideas that will make it better. Because sometimes you see people get board members that will even distract the organization and make you not to even achieve your aim. So if they know their functions, they are policy makers and strategic thinkers of the organization, and they work, set everything, they review everything that happens in the organization financially, operationally, okay, and their role, they represent the organization everywhere they go. If they get to understand that and they know their functions, it will make it very easy for you. When you are picking board members, please make sure you pick people that will influence the organization positively, people that will grow the organization. So the functions of the board, of course, the chairperson appoints and everything, and in the board, there should be a president or the chairman of the board, secretary. Then these are the two major parts: the financials, the treasurer, the financial secretary. That's for the meeting, okay? But operationally, you can have your director finance, director admin, and all that, or for the purpose of your meeting, okay? So please make sure you pick your board of trustees carefully to avoid having issues. How do you select them? You select them according to their functions. Like I said, they must understand the NGO's operations and scope of work, as well as opportunity that is presented there. That's one of the things I said before. So these are the things you need to understand. They must have experience and responsibility for carrying out tasks, managing your NGO. Okay? So if you just go and pick board members just like that, there might be crisis. Okay? They have to have an experience in community work. Even if they don't have, they will have the zeal for that. Then the public promotions and representing the organization publicly, not the people. You must make sure your board members are the people that can promote the organizations and represent the organizations publicly. Because there may be people that may not have the zeal to represent the organizations publicly. So you need to understand the people you are working with, okay? Then the composition of board members. Is always supposed to end with odd numbers in case of voting time. So the board members 5 to 10. Some people get to 18, 19, 20, thereabouts. But to me, as long as you get quality people that can work with you, as long as you get people that understand what you are doing, if you make it 5, it won't be a bad idea. Okay? But people pack up those numbers so that they can benefit from all. Okay, so just be careful in the number. So, but the composition is at least from five. If it's a limited liability, from two. But for NGOs, it's from five. Okay. Termination of appointment. If a board member is not living up to expectation, the appointment can be terminated. But you know that board members' appointment cannot easily be, is with Corporate Affairs Commission. That's why you need to be careful in picking your board members. The only way you can terminate it is that there must be board meeting, extract from the board meeting, terminating the appointment, and it has to go through the process. And at this point, you may have registered with Corporate Affairs Commission and you have not been submitting your annual report. And penalty per year, I think is either 5,000 or 7,500 thereabouts. So you calculate it numbers of years you have not submitted. Then the annual due is 5,000 if they've not increased it. So by the time, if you have registered for the past 5 years or 10 years and you have not been doing that, by the time they calculate it for you, you will see that the cost of even terminating the appointment of that board will be high. So I encourage everyone, every year, make sure you send your annual returns to CAC, such that anytime you want to do any transaction, it will not stop you. Okay? So all these things are strategies that has to be put in place to avoid delay in anything we are doing. So termination of the appointment, but it's not something you wake up and terminate somebody. No, it's with CAC. Procedures has to be followed. Other board members have to, agree to it. So please, at the point of choosing your board members, be very careful. Okay. Then role of NGOs in community development. Of course, NGOs, they look at lesser group to help them, people living in extreme poverty. Okay, there are places where you have high rate of children dropping off from school, out of school, children dropping out of school. NGOs, have done a lot of things in that area. NGOs have removed people from extreme poverty, giving shelter, food, water to individuals. Okay, NGOs have, presented themselves in times of emergency. Okay, for communities that have natural disaster or issues, NGOs have gone there to assist them. Okay, all these things are things that will help us form our activities. Okay, so and like in Nigeria, some places they don't have access to quality health care. So NGOs have also gone to some of those places. Like we went to one village in Plateau State. It's a very remote village where we did their health upgrade. The organization that supported us were able to change their hospital beddings, the bed itself, the beddings, they put an incubator for them, scanning machine, resuscitate for children. So, and since that time, there has been quite great improvement in that community, but it's a very, very remote community. So please, the aim of our NGO, setting up all these things, is to ensure that we make impact in communities. Some are working towards the right of women. Some are lifting societies. Some are into policy making. You can be part of policy makers, okay? Work with stakeholders. One advantage of NGO is that it helps you get to the authority. It helps you get to people in power. It helps you make impact, okay? So you can be a policy maker through the NGOs. That's why some groups, if you notice, there are groups that they go into government activities, check up finance, before you know, they write on newspaper telling you secrets that people don't know. Okay, some NGOs are into that too. So you can, depends on what you want to achieve. Okay, depends on what you want to achieve. Public relations. An organization, you need to have raise fund for it. You know, one of the things that help us to influence in the society is making people to get to know the organization. Depends on what the organization is into. The people, based on their focal group, they should know about what you do. If it's children, if it's youth, if it's depends on what you do, those organization, those people that are involved, your focal group are supposed to know what you do. Okay, so and this can be done through your public relations. Okay, you do it. Of course, our social media influence has really helped us a lot in our public relations. We are still going to talk more on it. You need to open your social media handles, your website. You need to have your website. You need to have your social media handles ready such that anybody that goes to your website to get to know what the organization is doing, people, your activities will be on your social media platform, okay, and everything. So your public relations is very important. Okay, now let's go to financial management. An NGO, one of the critical factors and the lifeline of any organization is in the finance. So there has to be proper record of the financial transactions of the NGO from the day of registration. Who brought what? How much did we get for social program? Everything, accountability is very important. Okay, in cash handling, in expenditure, you need to get the budget for the NGO. Approve your budget on yearly basis. Check it on monthly basis. Make sure, you know, budget has a way of motivating everybody. You have your budget, we have our budget is that every month we must make 60 million and we have not made up to that. Everybody is on their, trying to get everybody's trying to make sure that we meet to the budget. And the expenditure, this is the area we are going. Budget actually helps. The staff quality, quality of staff is very important to the organization because you might actually try to save costs and end up spending double. So the quality of staff is important. Financial aspect, you need to have your annual audit, okay? The auditor comes to check what's going on, and bank reconciliation, you need to know, okay, what we have in the bank, is it the same thing we have in our system, in our software? We know that these days we are not talking about cash book again, paperwork, everything is online. So you need to understand all those things, the financial management of the organization, okay? So you have a good budget, like we just said. You prepare your weekly, monthly, and annual reports. Your weekly, monthly, and annual report helps you to understand what you're doing, where you're going. And it will help you to prepare your quarterly reports. You can draw the graph. Are we moving up or down? What could be the cost? Okay, it will make it so easy to analyze your financial activities. So your weekly, monthly reports is very important and it will help you check up your budget. Okay, then funding for NGO. This is a very good place. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. There are different ways you can raise funds. I talked about creating a website when we're talking on public relations, okay? How to raise funds. If you create your website as an NGO and your activities portray what you're doing, there should be provision for donate, a tab for donate that people can easily donate, okay? You can actually have a program. You want to do something, you want to advertise, maybe you want people to get to know about it through your social media handles and everything. You show them. Nigerians, we do crowdfunding in Nigeria, just a lot of us don't tap into it. So for NGOs, it's very good for NGOs so that whatever you're doing on your social media platform is something that people will see. They want to be part of it. They want to donate to it. And also when they get to your website, there should be area for it. So create it. That's one. You can get your funding through your website, social media handles. Number two, get all your contact database. Get the contact of NGOs, non-profit organizations, people that are into it. Ask people around, get their contacts. Get to know people. Apart from just setting up, some people they will tell you, I don't want to get to know anybody, I don't want to network, I don't. Every business needs network. Okay, so this one, you need to get to know people that are into it. Okay, then your donor, of course, your donor are the people that will help you. So they need to understand your work. You need to show what you do. They need to know what you do and they need to know about you. So tell stories to your donors. Sometimes you can just come up with them in your social media handle or your website. Tell stories. How you made different, how you touched lives in different occasions. Tell stories about what you do. Make it, let people be touched through your stories and everything. So one of the ways you said you can raise funds through the website, through the donor, through making that contact. One thing I've actually got to know that it's easier to break through when you have contact with somebody. Visit offices, get to know. And we're going to still talk about that one in our next class. That's the next class. If you register an NGO, is not one step is to have the certificate. The next step is to know which organization. For instance, no donor agency can fund you when you just have certificates. If you have website, you have your social media handle, you can get trickles of people coming in to donate, okay? But if you must get international donors and get people to know, have confidence in you, you must look for government organizations that are into what you are doing and get accredited or registered with them. For instance, we do things with women, we have accreditation with Women Affairs. We have accreditations with Youth Development. We have accreditations with National Budget and Planning. Okay, so I know there are more. Ministry of Education too we have. So you need to get those. That letter they will give you a headway. Let people know that you are not just, it's not just an NGO. You work with government. And sometimes even those government agencies can be part of your donors. You come up with programs. Okay, you can come up with programs that will aid the organizations. Like you can get to them. There was a time Women Affairs gave out sewing machines to organizations that are into women empowerment. So you get to know all those things. Network with people. Okay, like I said, your PayPal account, website, make sure there is donate icon there. Come up with newsletters. Tell about what you do. Let's be part of crowdfunding. It's easy to start. Like I told you, it's easy to start. It's not so difficult. And through crowdfunding, you raise, as long as people see what you do, people see it and they want to be part of it. It's a big project, okay? So funding for NGO, once you are able to show this is what I'm doing, once you are able to show we are doing well, once you are able to show that I'm touching lives, Nigerians are ready, people are ready, both international and local organizations. You don't even need to, some of those international organizations will start contacting you directly when they see what you do because your social media platform will speak volume. Then in that your social media platform, to make them see what you're doing, even your social media platform, follow them. Join them, all those organizations, United Nations, DFID, depends on what you do. Join them on there so that when you post anything, they get to see it. They will be the ones to look for you because they will see, they must have seen what you're doing, okay? So you can also get non-financial support. Sometimes you're looking at money, money, money. You can get somebody that will say, okay, I don't have money, but I have a space. Come get your office in just this space. Some people will say, oh, I have used systems. Let me give you people for your activities. Some people, oh, they don't have money, but they can connect you to somebody. Raising funds for NGO is not just getting the raw cash, okay? It's not just getting it. There are different ways for us to get all those things. So we need to adopt, or we need to make sure we touch all the sources. When we touch all the sources, you sit down, it flows in, okay? And it makes the work very easy. As non-governmental organization, as non-profit organization, they rely on various sources of fund for their operations. So, and apart from those ones I mentioned, membership dues are there, private sector profit corporation, grants from governments and agencies, government they do, yes, private donations. Okay, these are the different ways you can raise funds. We are still talking about the raising of funds, membership dues, private donations, sales of goods and services. NGO can decide to pick based on your area of activity. You can decide to sell something, okay? You are selling it not for profit, but to help sustain the NGO, okay? Grants for other NGOs can support you. Government can fund you. Problems facing NGOs and possible solutions. When you don't have proper network, it will affect what you are doing. Networking is very important. When you lack effective governance, it affects you. When you cannot effectively implement your strategies, that is number one failure. There are people that have strategy, they have plans. If they tell you their plans, you will shake. But implement it is a problem. It could be because of lack of funds or resources. But you need to, I always tell people, think big, dream very big. But my dear, start small. Don't let that big fund. And let me tell us a story. When we started this NGO, sometimes we will see a proposal to write, or we want to write for a project. Some people tell you, oh, no, 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 no. Don't write, you're trying to say, okay, let's see, this is how we want to start. In your proposal, you are putting 4 million, 3 million. They say, no, make it 180 something million, 500. They will be telling you, increase the money, do this. People, and when in as much as, yes, we are thinking big, you have put such money, nobody is ready to work with you. Because the guy has like 50 million trying to share to 4 or 5 organizations, and you are bringing a budget of 100 and something million when he can achieve 50 with a lot of organizations. You understand? So you have to learn how to work with the little resources, having the hope and planning to do the big one, okay? Not stopping or cancelling the small ones because you have a very big target. I don't know if you get my point, okay? So please, it's a very big problem some NGOs are facing. They will tell you, don't write small budgets, don't bring yourself down, do this one. My dear, start small, think big, start small, think big, start small. So take advantage of the latest technology, like I said, social media network. If you don't, it will not improve the NGO, okay? Now, so you need to understand your vision, your mission, so that you can achieve it. And also ensure you have a flexible and sustainable plan. Flexible, challenges will come. Challenges will come. Challenges will come. But if you don't have flexible and sustainable plan, it will be difficult. If your plan is so rigid and is a hard one, you may not stand the test of time. That's the reasons why some NGOs fail. Okay? So what are the possible solutions? Locate and utilize possible opportunities. Just see opportunities, look for it, get a grant, write to people, achieve your missions. Try to show people what you do, how you impact life, okay? For you and your board members and your management staff, you need to undergo trainings. As small as an online training it can make an impact. Some people prefer physical trainings. Online trainings are good, physical trainings are good too, but for you to hope on only physical trainings which might be expensive. Attend several online trainings. Check up what other NGOs are doing. After this training, we're going to do subsequently winning proposal, how to write a winning proposal. We're going to take up that section for us to know it's not just to open and set up an NGO. We need to know how we can write proposals, a winning proposal that can help us get the grants, help us get the donations, proposals that can help us both in private and public organizations. Okay, so it's a very good thing that we get to understand the solutions to problems to avoid falling into the problem. So structuring an NGO, you need staff, you need to get provision for your overhead, that's expenses. There should be monitoring, evaluation and control. The monitoring and evaluation will ensure that you maintain the standard. The NGO must have a standard. In getting your staff, are you getting to the standard? In your overhead, the things you do, your programs, your activities, the things that go out from the organizations, are they up to the standard? In summary, NGOs have really done a lot in communities. NGOs have several focal groups, targeted groups. NGOs have several activities. NGOs, if you understand the mission and vision of your NGO, it will make the NGO to succeed. Have strategies, implementable strategies. It may not be easy now, but let the NGO develop a strategy that can help. NGOs are policy makers, they are policy changers. Depends on what you want. NGOs have made impact in societies. It's not easy, but it's achievable. You can register yours. You can actually come together as a group. There are different ways you can register yours. You can come together as a group. But NGO is not something that one person registers. Okay, it has to be minimum of 5. So it's either you come together as a group or you already have your group to register. But there are these things that we talked about today are very important for your NGO. So thank you for today. We will continue our class tomorrow. God bless you.